Hey all, Flame here, and this date's kind of crept up on me a little bit. The significance of today in terms of the channel is that as of the 10th of March 2017, FlameHisWorld has been live on YouTube for 5 years. That feels kind of weird for me to process because FlameHisWorld is something originally that I didn't really know what the hell I was going to do with. I originally made the FlameHisWorld channel shortly after I'd sort of lost interest in doing the Guitar Hero and Rock Band kind of videos that I was doing on my old Flameclaw 2 account. You know, them channels, they kind of got a bit typecast, so I guess that's the word, I don't really know, but they got to a point where people would subscribe to that channel for just the Guitar Hero Rock Band videos, and you know, if you were doing something else, if you were branching out or making a new channel, and I really didn't know what kind of things that would evolve into. I just thought, you know, I'll make myself this little outlet to do non-music game videos. And originally it might kind of surprise you given the way that FlameHisWorld has developed over time, but it wasn't originally going to be a Let's Play channel. I always kind of left myself open with the ideas of like maybe doing some Let's Plays, but I didn't actually do that until a few months later, if I recall correctly. Originally, the first thing that I actually uploaded on FlameHisWorld, and it is really bad and it's unlisted. I think for the sake of the occasion, I'll post links to the unlisted videos in the description here, but it was a weird kind of playthrough feature maybe kind of thing on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I was just playing as shadowing a few different things. It was terrible, and I don't mean just in terms of the like cringy bad video. It's like I don't even know what it was meant to be really. I just made this video out of some, I guess, test recordings that I had on me Dazzle at the time that I'd recorded, and just threw together a thing and done a bit of talking over it, and it was mostly aimless self-deprecating over terrible gameplay. But yeah, that was a thing that I made, and I remember shortly after as well I did a similar thing where I just recorded a bit of crazy taxi footage and just talked about that for like 5 minutes or so. And yeah, that stuff was weird. It wasn't quite a playthrough because I didn't show off the whole game. I just split into 2 videos, and it was just some footage of me playing as Shadow and like on the different mini games and shit, and it was just a thing. I don't even know what I was doing. It was just, I guess, trying to get a bit of feel for editing properly, because the stuff I'd done on the old Flameclaw and Flameclaw 2 channels didn't really need editing. I'd just record the song and then upload it, but this was just getting a bit of feel for editing stuff, and it was a mess, and I unlisted it a good few years ago because it was, yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, over time I just sort of had a bit of an idea to try Let's Playing, because I was watching a lot of Let's Plays at the time and thought, I know what I can do this. And it quickly became apparent in the early days at least that no, I can't do this, but I'm gonna keep doing it. But eventually I just sort of kept at it, and I did the Sonic Generations playthrough, the 2012 one, which was terrible in gameplay, terrible in commentary, and same thing with the Mario Kart Double Dash 2012 run, both of which I ended up redoing with Chris and Stephen last year, which were much better runs of both. Yeah, I did that. I also did a run of DLC Quest, which I actually like. I still have that up, I still have that publicly available, and that one, it's not bad, I don't think. It's still not good by today's standards. There's still a lot of stuff that you might watch this thing just sort of cringe a bit. I think the fact that I was so much younger then, I must have been like 16 or 17 when I was making them original playthroughs, and it shows. It shows that I was just working shit out as I went, but that kind of led on to one thing and another, and when I thought I'd do something a bit more ambitious of a project, I wouldn't just do like short little Sonic games, Mario Kart games, whatever, I thought I play a lot of Pokemon. I played a lot of Pokemon as a kid, and I thought I'll do a Pokemon game. But I didn't quite want to commit to that on my own, because I knew that I was in this habit of just jumping between ideas, because, like I said, I weren't really sure what I was doing with my channel. But I thought if I was going to do Pokemon, I should see it through to the end, and I didn't want to risk running out of stuff to say, and that's when I had the idea to invite Chris and Stephen on, who at the time were my friends in school. You know, we talked about Pokemon a lot in school, we talked about different games we were playing, and I just thought, you know what, if I have these guys along, then I could make this work. And for what it was, I think Ruby, the first half of Ruby is awkward as hell. I think they'll agree with me. We didn't even have a proper audio setup. We just had like a mic on the stand, on the floor. You'll hear us like annoyingly tapping the mic every time someone would lean over for something. And from an audio perspective, it's a disaster. But I think the second half of Ruby sort of came into its own. That's when we started to, you know, actually make something of our little project, our little Pokemon Ruby playthrough project. And after that, I remember a little way into Ruby, we thought we'd start juggling this with another game that I'd recorded at the time, which was Sonic 06. And I know, literally everyone ever has covered Sonic 06. We weren't unique by doing that in any way. Our playthrough of it isn't any way unique, like we were just sort of shooting the shit over the game and talking about how bad it was, you know, nothing special. But that kind of working that alongside Ruby, that was the sort of stuff that made me realise that I'm having a lot of fun doing this, which was what I kind of needed to just think, you know what, I can do this Let's Play thing just for the fun of it and just keep this up, and I'm having a really good time doing this. And it was over the course of working on both Pokemon Ruby and Sonic 06, so I just kind of decided what I wanted FlameHisWorld to be. Granted, that would change a hell of a lot over the next few years, which I'm not going to just go through skimming through everything because I've done that in the retrospectives and all that sort of shit. So this is more just me nostalgia fagging my way through an anniversary video when most people would have something properly scripted or like a little montage or something. But now I just thought I'll take this opportunity to ramble. So what has FlameHisWorld become now? FlameHisWorld is clearly not my main focus. That's something that's probably really clear to anyone who watches the channel or follows me. It's not my main focus these days. I tend to put a lot more time into the non-commentary runs over on the FC Playthroughs channel, and also if I'm involved in any Hellfire Comms projects, that usually is where my focus will go for that period of time. But that being said, FlameHisWorld is something that is kind of special to me, and this year in particular, I said in the last retrospective, I'm gonna just try and have fun with it this year, and so far that's been happening with Dr. Wily's Revenge, that playthrough, and the Absolute playthrough. The Absolute playthrough especially, you can just hear in my voice that I'm having fun with that game, and I think this is something that I'm feeling a lot more positive about it, which is something I've needed for a very long time, because although the playthrough process on the whole is something that I would never trade for the world, it's something that I really enjoy doing. With how my brain works, or more specifically how my brain doesn't work, there are a lot of little obstacles, I should say, that make it harder work than it needs to be sometimes. You probably, if you've ever seen one of my update videos before, you know that sometimes I can just have little depressive fits, little moments of just feeling really down. I have anxious tendencies that can make a lot of stuff hard work. And sometimes that came from insecurity. I was worried that what I was doing wasn't good enough. And also insecurity that there's a backlog of videos that I'm really not proud of. That kind of comes across from, I'd say, some of the stuff in 2013, 2014 specifically, where there's some high points. I'd say stuff like, you know, Sonic Lost World, Sonic Adventure 2, Mega Man 6, those playthroughs are really good, or at least really good by the standards of that time, you know. And that is like my little get out clause, because I did have a lot of fun with those playthroughs. But then there's also some other ones that I have just lingering in the background. Like, I doubt anyone's ever gonna give a shit about that Mega Man 4 playthrough, that was just boring. And there's other stuff that, you know, I can't really say I'm proud of. The earlier Mega Man runs, part of Fire Red was kind of awkward, and also in more recent times I don't particularly care for the Mega Man 7 playthrough. So I kind of, to a certain extent, was feeling I had a lot to prove, because if I was making something new, I wanted to make a point of like, this is much better, the gameplay is better, the commentary is more interesting, and everything's more in focus. And to, I guess, a certain degree of irony, that was working against me. The more I was worried about everything being really good, the worse it was coming out, and different kind of bad. It wasn't like I'll just go back to being sloppy. No, it was the opposite of that, but it ended up being a case of everything's too clean. There was no real enthusiasm behind the commentary. It was very much like let's play by numbers. Well, I think that can work to a certain degree. There comes a point where, you know, I need to have something that I can just say, this is mine. This is my thing. This is this experience that I had talking about this game. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it does come off a little bit sterile. And I think that the runs that I've done so far this year, and also what I think from the last run I was really proud of that I did with a group, which was Sonic Generations HD. I think they've got a little bit more of a mark of just, this was our experience with the game, this was our experience talking about it, and this is something like a good time we had. And I think that while there's a lot more to making a Let's Play than just having a good time, because that's a bit of a misconception some people have, like, you do still have to put work in. You can't just talk aimlessly and hope for the best, which is kind of ironic given what I'm doing right now, but you do have to keep a degree of focus, but you still have to be having like some kind of engagement as well. It's not a case of, you know, I can just talk about the game and hope it comes out well, because it won't. Too Perfect ends up looping back on itself and it stops being fun. And so I think with the earlier stuff and what I hope will happen when we record our next big project with Chris and Stephen is it'll balance out, and it's at a point where it's good enough now. Like, I always get good gameplay down, or at least good enough gameplay down, and I know how to edit out shit parts of commentary, so I can try and work out a happy medium. And that was a long-winded spiel that I think had a message in it of what I'm trying to do now, but yeah, that's my goal, just to have a bit more fun with it while still maintaining a degree of standards. That's what I'm looking for FlameHisWorld in the future. But yeah, as for future plans, what do I have in the works, or what can you expect from FlameHisWorld going forward? Well, I haven't actually said this out loud until right now, but a little goal I set for myself was to have about a playthrough a month for FlameHisWorld. Like, it might not be perfectly like one every single month, it might be a bit of dead air, then maybe 2 or 3 the next month or whatever, but I just kind of want us to be able to look back at the end of the year and say, right, we've got at least 12 playthroughs that are good, well made, they're entertaining to watch. I think, given all the other stuff as well that I'm part of that I work on, I think that's a fairly realistic goal. I mean, in January I had Dr. Wily's Revenge, which, yeah, it's very short, but it's still a bit of output around time when I was getting stuff ready for a Hellfire Comms playthrough. And also I had Abzu in February, which it overstepped into March by a day, but whatever, I can let myself off that one. For March, what am I planning? Well, I am going to commit to this by saying it out loud, but I'm gonna do it. There will be a playthrough of Rystar in March, before the end of the month, and that will be a solo one featuring myself. And also sometime in the year, which probably won't be for a few months yet, because I want to get it properly prepared with the others, but there will be a new Pokemon run featuring myself, Chris and Stephen. So you can look forward to that one if you're interested in Pokemon, or not, because it's still a FlameHisWorld playthrough, but I can't even just get for a few minutes without self-deprecating, that's just how I am. But yeah, I think to kind of wrap this up, because I don't want this to be another one of them videos where I ramble on for ages, but I do want to give a big shout out to Chris and Stephen for helping me keep this thing running for as long as it has, because quite often during the down periods it'd be through talking to them that I get the inspiration to just get back to FlameHisWorld, to, you know, have them over, record some more videos, get the ball rolling again. And that, I need that, I just do. With my kind of personality, if I am left to my own devices all the time, I'll just sort of peter out after a while. So yeah, thank you to Chris and Stephen for that. And as a last note, I'll say that FlameHisWorld, being part of this, doing this, essentially becoming part of the wider Let's Play community that I've become part of, some of the best parts of my life, really. I really do appreciate everything that I've got through doing this, and FlameHisWorld was my step into this, and I want to keep it going the best I possibly can. So to everyone who's helped me along the way, past, present, future, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the channel, thank you for supporting me. And because I'm doing this with no script, I have no idea how to wrap this up. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great evening. Bye bye for now.